Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Canadian Podcast Companion, where we take two things and turn them into one unique idea. Being that we are a little nerdy, a lot lighthearted, and even a lot more out of practice, I want to take some time to introduce this episode and let you know what's in it for you. Today, we have a special guest. She is a former classmate or a former colleague of mine. She's a marketer, a content creator, and she is also from the Ukraine. And more importantly, a first-time guest of the Canadian Podcast Companion, our guest, Alina.
Hi, Patrick. How are
you? I'm doing good. Welcome to the podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about something, or two things rather, that are relevant to, I guess, today's society and what's going on, being at the pandemic. But we are going to talk about burnout and passion projects. So, to you, what made you want to bring up burnout and passion projects as a topic for a podcast?
Well, to be honest, Patrick, it's I think it's a very relatable topic for everyone and can relate, like everyone can relate it, right? Because burnout right now, I think it's this syndrome is widespread, and thank God we're talking about this more, and and everyone can feel it. It's normal to speak about burnout and maybe try to figure out how we can deal with it.
Yes, highly relevant. Before we get into those questions, maybe for our audience, can you tell us what is burnout?
Yeah, of course I can. I did a homework. Yeah, I prepared, so I kind of did the research, and I was actually I was very curious to understand what's the difference between burnout, depression, stress, because sometimes people think that, okay, I have burnout, but actually it's not burnout, it's actually stress. And I want just to clarify that stress, it's something that happens very fast, like immediately, right? You got it. And there's something. And burnout is something that starts from the one thing and it's, just become worse and worse. So it's very timely stuff. Yeah. And also some researchers, some scientists, define burnout as a syndrome of emotional exhaustion, also combined with depersonalization. I don't know how to pronounce this well or not, and the sense of low personal accomplishments. So it basically leads you to the decreased effectiveness at work. You're unmotivated, your self-esteem is down, and that's what it is. What's the burnout?
Okay, actually, I heard a unique quote about burnout, and I think I'm just trying to find it, but it said that burnout is something that happens when you try to avoid being human for too long.
That's an interesting
really
point.
Relevant. Yeah, because you kind of, people want to say that variety is the spice of life, and doing different things and, finding challenges is what keeps you going. But when you're doing the same thing, it's not a quick onset of stress. It's a steady set that kind of keeps on going, and one thing builds after another and after another.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing then, in your perspective, is this something that's avoidable, or is this inevitable for all people to reach some level of burnout?
I feel like nowadays we live this, in this culture of all the time hustle, like we're hustling all the time, right? We want to be better. We want to work harder, and we just, like crazy about our work. And that's exactly, I agree with the quote, because we are not humans, because we work like robots, because we want to do harder, we want to do our work better. And sometimes, you may think that, okay, but I like my job, I'm doing this, I work overtime, and I really like it. But the thing is, at the beginning, it's like a honeymoon, right? Like it's the first stage of the burnout. You have a honeymoon because you enjoy your work, you love it. But then when you work too much, you have fatigue. Ideas is not so cool ideas anymore, and you become unmotivated. So I feel that actually we can prevent it. But unfortunately, maybe again, because of this culture of, successful success, because I mean, you all the time look in the people, right, who are successful, especially, in the era of social media right now. To be honest, we scroll always, to be honest, personally, I'm addicted. it's my yes, I'll just tell you, I'm addicted social media stalker. I don't know, I all the time, scrolling my feed, and I'm just seeing these people who work hard, they are successful, they're cool, and of course it just gives you some kind of feeling that I'm not doing good enough, why I'm not there, right? So you start to kind of thinking about it. And that's the thing. You don't think, I feel like people should stop listening to stories of successful success and build their own stories, right? And don't push them hard, and understand that it's normal. And actually burnout, we can prevent it. We can do it. We just need to give some time to ourselves and think not only about the work, right? What about you? What do you think? Patrick? I don't know, maybe I'm just...
No, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I think social media, it's something that it's great because we can all be connected, and without social media, especially nowadays, I think we'd all go insane, right? Without Zoom, without Facebook, Instagram, it lets us stay connected. Yeah, but it's that thing of comparing ourselves to other people. You see someone like Richard Branson or Bezos, or right. You see these highly successful people who are motivated and they keep on going, go, and they show you the work they're doing, but they don't actually show you the stuff they're doing to prevent burnout. They're not showing you their rest periods, what they're doing for fun, when they're shutting off their sleeping habits. So I think it's an interesting point that you brought up, but perhaps even more so. And I do want to bring this up because you are newly landed Canadian, and when you say the culture of that, how are the work cultures different between Canada and Ukraine?
I mean, the work culture, right? So, to be honest, I worked in different fields, right? So I started my career as a teacher, which is probably surprising for you, but yeah, I worked as a teacher. After that, I can compare, right? So in the education field, I worked in the government. I worked for government for 3 years, and I feel like it was the worst place I worked ever. But I mean, the culture itself.
I said, what caused it? And while I bring that up, what caused your burnout? I want to welcome our very late co-host, Dan, to the mix. We're actually just talking about burnout, and you had mentioned that in your, I guess, first career as a teacher in the Ukraine, you had burnout. But to interrupt, I just want to know what caused that burnout. Was it just the nature of the work, or was it the hours that you worked? Like, how's that different? Like, what contributed to the burnout?
I mean, the organization itself, the school, the kind of teacher, the staff, like your teammates, right? They have been like toxic people. And you as a new professional, nobody really cares. They just give you overtime. They give you lots of class hours. I was the second teacher in terms of hours in the rate. I mean, but I was super new. I just came from school. So how could you give me so much pressure, right?
So that's intense. Yeah. How many hours do you typically, what's the work schedule over there compared to here in Canada? Like, is it still a 40-hour work week, 44-hour work week?
Oh my gosh. Officially, it was 20 hours. Officially. It's cool. It's officially at school. But I'm sorry, it's not like that. You just come home and you don't rest. You need to prep for everything. Hi, Dan.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah, our very late podcast co-host. So I thought you came on earlier, but turns out more tech issues. We're talking about.
Yeah, sorry about that.
This is Alina. She is a former colleague, I guess, from school and a marketer. We're talking about burnout. And
great.
She's talking about her experience with it in the Ukraine working as a teacher.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
But it was not long. It was only 4 months or 5. I don't remember.
4 months?
Or 4 months?
What sort of teaching?
Well, in Ukraine we have, I think, a little bit different financial. Like, we are not paying for education at university.
You have like state paid tuition?
Yeah. So usually we have lots of people who can get it, this tuition. Yeah. So, and I've been at school like for 5 years. So I got my master's degree and I never paid for that. And usually what happens after that, you need to go to work for government, like for school, like not like to public schools, not to the private, right? So, and can you imagine what's the conditions, right? And usually it's like very small cities and you just need to drive there, and it was super intense. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So
imagine not well supported financially.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so
sorry, I'm going back up a little bit. Where are you from in the Ukraine? Yeah, I'm hijacking it. No more burnout shit. We're talking international geopolitics now.
Yeah.
There we go.
We can speak about it. Yeah.
Okay, so talking about that, and so you said you had just a few months there, and you realized that it actually was burnout. In like Ukraine, like how many hours does it make for it to be full time, for it to be a sustainable living wage?
Oh, well, it's the same as in Canada, like 40 hours. Typically, like you come to work and you just like at 8 and go back at 5. Yeah, so it's very similar, I would say. Like it's 40 hours a week. But but it's actually a very interesting point that I realized about the problem of the burnout, right? How it called actually burnout and stuff like that, and mental health. I only realized this problem here in Canada, because in Canada, I feel that people pay more attention to mental health, and in Ukraine, nobody cares actually, and nobody really speaks about it. Like you work like a machine, right? You just come, work, and nobody cares. That's it.
Okay. That's intense. Do you have relationships? Like, how's that working now? Did you have relationships with your bosses back home, or do you have like relationships with like your colleagues and bosses now that will?
You mean in Ukraine? From Ukraine?
Yeah, Ukraine or here. Like, do you have those work relationships? Because you mentioned that people care more. Like, are they giving you like health benefits or counseling, or are they actually willing to talk about it and go, you need to take your break and,
Yeah, I see. Yeah, actually, that's the thing. Here, I feel like even if you're stressed, if you like have problems at home or whatever happens, you can just tell your boss and they can just leave you home. Like you can just go home and figure out what's happening, right? They can give you this break. Well, of course, it's not every time, because you also need to be, accountable for your work, and you need to understand when you can go and when you can just go, right? So that's the thing. In Ukraine, it doesn't work like that. Nobody will give you this leave when you have a depression or something like that. That's the thing. And I still can't kind of, get rid of this perception and stereotypes in Ukraine. So for example, if I feel drained, I would probably not ask my boss or my manager to give me a day or something like that. I will not ask, because I didn't used to it. To say
it's not normalized.
Take a break when you need it.
Yeah. The mental health thing is important, but I think it's kind of lacking now, because you can't really go home when you work from home now. It's your work has invaded your house now. We're all working on Zoom. We're on things.
Oh yeah.
So are you going to an office, or are you working from home doing the Zoom thing,
I'm
right?
working from home, and I really enjoy it actually.
Okay, more so. Okay, so I find like the opposite. So a typical day for me is 8 a.m. to about 3 a.m. That's my schedule. So it's about like 14, 15 hours a day. And that's all I do. All I do is work. And the thing is, because I'm working from home, there's no place for me to shut off my brain. I can't leave it at the office. I have to just... It's here. So when I work, it's always here. If I'm trying to watch TV and unwind, I'll get a phone call or a message, and it's constantly going. And I find it's harder to separate your professional from your personal life. So maybe you did mention that you do enjoy it. What do you find that's working for you in your professional life that's keeping you from not burning out? Because I'm definitely getting some Zoom fatigue.
Okay, so what keeps me not burnt? Okay, actually, to be honest, before this conversation and before this podcast, I decided to find the test, do the assessment test. You can actually figure out, do you have a burnout or not? So my score was 54, which is almost the last stage. And the recommendation...
Oh, no.
And the recommendation for me was, you are in a severe risk of burnout. Do something about this urgently. That was my recommendation. So if you want, guys, I can share with you this test. I don't know how credible it is.
Link.
I don't know how credible.
Yeah. I'm curious what Shane's score will be.
Yeah.
I want you to ace. This is the one test that Shane can ace.
Yeah. I can have a higher score.
Yeah.
Yours is 54. I can double that.
Okay. So no, I mean, I just like to be at home right now. I kind of used to this normal. It's not related to my work, I would say. I would just say that I don't like to be in rush. I don't like to, wake up, miss the breakfast and just, drive to office early in the morning and be like sleepy, not focused. I kind of used to this reality, to be honest. And I feel like I'm more productive when I'm working alone at home. Nobody kind of, there's no noise going around. Like, you're not so distracted. Because for me personally, I want to talk with my colleagues. I want to, and also when you work in open space, it's always, for me personally, it's hard to focus only on my work. So but how to keep... And I kind of understand you, Patrick, so well, because sometimes even when I have lunch time, I still check my emails, I check my stuff, and it's something bad. I totally agree. And that's why I have rules, and I never work during the weekend. I never check my emails. And also at 5 p.m., just goodbye, we're just not checking it anymore. Yeah.
That's a rough one. Dan, what do you guys think of that?
It helps to have an actual schedule. Like, I think a lot of the problem is if you don't have a clear schedule, a clear delineation between your work life and your private life. There's always that foot in the door phenomenon of, I'll just answer this work email right now and get it done now. I'll answer this one. This one seems like more urgent than a normal email. I'll on to this one. And you like almost peer pressure yourself into this insanity by just letting this other sphere of life consume you.
Well, I noticed that when I briefly hired Dan, that he actually looked the part. So we were working. I hired Dan for a position for temporary relief, and it just didn't work out. Not that I didn't fire him. I should have fired him just to execute my power. But
this is a show of dominance.
Yeah, just to scare the staff. But when I hired
that's my dream job. I want to be the guy that gets fired as an example for everyone else.
Oh my goodness.
I just we need to improve morale at our company. Let's hire Daniel for a week and then fire him in front of everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Just intimidate the employee. It's a terrible joke. But I noticed that when I hired you, Dan, you looked the part. So you actually kind of dressed the part of a...
I look better than I do today.
Yeah, you dress the part of a professional, and I think that's kind of like one of the only things that we can control is like your attire for how you go to work and which room or corner of your apartment that you're working on. You kind of have to find these little wins everywhere, but I don't get days off. I don't get stat holidays. I don't get vacation or sick days. I work every single day. Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think Dan, he pulled up a stat of the IT industry slaves in China, the
Oh my God.
996 or something like that.
Oh,
What's the
996.
schedule?
Yeah. So
The
it's
modern slavery. Yeah.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. That's the standard work schedule in the Chinese tech industry. It's called 996,
Crazy.
Yeah,
which
but
is
I work.
uh,
I put that to
doesn't
shame
sound
though.
fun.
I work 8 to
Yeah.
6 and then 12-5 on the 7th.
You literally work
Oh my
more than a
goodness.
Chinese slave, Shane.
But I heard today that people work more than slaves, like back in the day of what they called slaves too.
Mhm.
Not quite sure. We're not getting like whipped and killed, but I heard like
Yeah. Define
Yeah,
work in this context.
yeah,
Because, like,
Back
depending how you
breaking.
define work, the slave never stopped working. He never stopped being someone else's employee.
Yeah, that's rough. But
Slave was
for
never
modern,
off the clock.
yeah, but for modern slaves though, I work quite a bit. It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, we basically made ourselves slaves because, it doesn't even, it's not about you working for somebody, right? For example, if you have your own business or you do some stuff what you like, basically you choose how much you work. And basically right now, if you a business owner, right, you're working like Patrick every day, every single day.
Yeah.
You just do it. Yeah.
Shifting gears to the second part of what we're speaking about is pursuing your passion. So, can you tell me a little bit about that, and how do you find what your passion is, or what is your passion?
It's a good question, actually, and I still can't figure out what was my passion. Okay, let's be honest, okay? So I'll be honest with you. Even today, after school, like I had a big chance to change my life when I moved to Canada. So I had the chance to choose the new field where I want to grow, where I want to, pursue my career and stuff like that. Because my previous experience, I don't feel like I did a very good job in that, to be honest. So because I tried different fields, right? And when I came to Canada, so I really created, like I love creativity. I love to create something, right? And we chose this program at PACE. So I really liked the program. I really enjoyed the project. I really liked the group work, teamwork, stuff like that. So I realized that I want to be a digital marketer or something like that. I'm kind of tech savvy, analytical, and also at the same time, I want to create something creative, right? Oh my gosh, I'm repeating myself. So, but anyway, but I'm missing something, right? So my type of meditation is next, what I'm doing. So right now I started a 21-day challenge for myself. Every day I'm painting, and it gives me like time to overthink like what's going on, and it kind of makes me relax finally. Yes. So I feel that and I feel like people who feel burnout or they still looking for some passion in their lives, they just need to stop. They just need to stop and just to give them time to think about it, right? And if you can't figure out by yourself, you always can find a person who can help you, right? I mean, there's so many counselors right now, and I don't feel like it's something bad or something, just it's normal, right? To have a counselor and speak to the person who can help you.
Sorry, I'm ear to ear smiling because Daniel's big into meditation.
I'm not big into meditation. I try to be bigger into meditation. But honestly, like I kind of agree that meditation is kind of bullshit, but not because meditation itself is bad, but it's like every other like self-help book in that if you're already meditating, you're probably already kind of doing good. It's like only people who are already like kind of in a good mental state like are active meditators. It's hard to know like what is affecting what. Is it a good state allows you to like more easily calm your mind and build this routine, or is it no, the other way around? And I just find like if I feel mentally good, I meditate more, and it almost feels like it's the other causation.
Hmm.
I wouldn't recommend. It's not a very helpful suggestion. Just like, oh, dude, just meditate. And, like that doesn't really help anyone's.
Oh yeah.
I think when I'm looking at pursuing passions, it's more of a, for me anyways, it comes out of a state of depression. I get really sad just at random times where I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to kind of lie down, curl up in a ball, or just stare at my ceiling for a few hours. And for me, it's just that looks fun, or that looks like challenging, and I want to do that. And so I kind of get these things of, I need to distract my thoughts from these like feelings of depression. So I end up doing stuff that I find are interesting, and I kind of throw enough stuff at the wall that eventually something sticks. And for me, like I find passion in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I find it in Latin dance. I find it in journaling. I think I like to scribble my thoughts down sometimes and just let the pen hit the page and do that. I kind of think that serves as like to put a word, a passive meditation. So if there's something that you just naturally enjoy doing, you're kind of putting your thoughts into just being in the moment, or you're going with a certain intent. So I think they kind of go hand in hand, but to sit down and like cross your legs and go like the Om, like it's weird for me. I need to do like, I need to do something there. And I guess I got to move into this Joe Rogan territory, but have you ever tried the float tank?
God.
Any experience with it? Have you? Do you know what that is?
Do you know what this is?
I'm not sure actually.
It's a tank that you filled with water, so it's like a hot tub, but the water is like body temperature, so you're not going to feel the difference between your skin and the water, and that's a big deal apparently. Shane will tell you why that's amazing. And it's all dark, so you don't see anything. So you don't have any sensory. You don't have any sense of like sight. It's you can hear a bit, but it's supposed to be a quiet room.
Oh,
and
interesting.
you don't really have a sense of touch because of the water, and you just float in it. And so you're supposed to like. Shane will tell you all the amazing things that can possibly happen, but basically the idea is you're disconnecting your body from your mind, and it allows you to think more deeply about whatever thoughts you have.
Interesting. I feel like water actually is a very good antidepressant. For me personally, the best ideas, the best projects in my mind, and I'm just getting them from the shower. To be honest, I just you just can stand under the water, right? And it's coming up to my mind. I don't know how it works. I mean, like I love water, so that's my, I don't know, my power comes from water.
Yeah.
How much is it water, and how much is it just like the shower is one of the few things we do on like a daily basis where we just let ourselves completely sort of daydream, think more intensely on like without distraction.
Oh yeah. I mean, sometimes during the day you have like projects, and like at work you have some problems, and you thinking about the whole day, right? And just go to the shower and just, wow, here is the answer to your question, right? Sometimes
I feel like it's like the process of decompression, like you decompress your brain as you're doing something very ritualistic. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a period of reflection. I think it's also because you're like, it's private, right? Like your door's locked, and you're kind of you're truly by yourself, and it's you're stripping any distraction, similar to the tank, right? You're actually undressed, and you're I guess you're at your most vulnerable, and you're going in there, and you're just letting yourself just be. And when the water's hitting you, you're just like, okay, I'm just staying here in this water, and I'm just going to relax. Pivoting back to our podcast though, what are your passions outside of work that are just completely isolated from your professional life?
So my first idea itself when I was at school was to create a blog and, maintain it, manage it. It was like Enjoy the Joy blog. So enjoy the Joy blog. Why it's Enjoy the Joy blog? Because I wanted to talk about stuff what you really enjoy and like simple things in your life that actually is cool and you can enjoy them. Like simple things, right? Like very like delicious food you can cook at home and you make at home, like whatever. Some places that can make you happy and you know have kind of enjoyable moments there. So that was my idea, but of course sometimes I drop the ball and I just you know. Right now, my blog is not not living this life, but yeah, I had a website and I feel like it was pretty good website. But yeah, I still need to maintain it.
Pretty sure I've started like around 5 blogs in my lifetime. None of them lasted very long.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why?
Need to do is
I just my motivation is very it's a roller coaster ride, and I mostly started them in like high school or in university, and often just schoolwork just kind of over takes me away from blogging. Typical Daniel shit.
okay. That's fair. The Enjoy the Joy blog. Were you able to get some blog posts out, or did it didn't launch?
Well, I had some blog posts there. I had one blog post about some cooking stuff, like, you know, because I'm a big fan of, you know, I'm a housewife. So, oh my gosh, yeah, that's the thing. I'm working full time and I'm also a huge wife, you know, doing wife work. So and it's actually something that I really enjoy because I love to cook. I really love like, you know, I like to cook and some from Ukrainian cuisine, you know, our traditional meals and stuff like that. And right now, actually, one of my biggest goals in terms of cooking is to learn how to cook more authentic, old school recipes, which is like forgotten, like forgot in Ukraine. Yeah.
Ukrainians.
Yeah, so I kind of try to, you know, find some cool recipes. For example, last year I cooked one and it was so interesting to cook because I never heard about it, right? And it's interesting because, again, political aspect here because my part of like the part of Ukraine where I came from, right? It was super under the influence of Soviet Union, and that's why our traditions and our customs and all the stuff, you know, even the cuisine was damaged, and people don't really know about it much, stuff like that. Yeah, and to be honest, even here when I came to Canada, it's off topic right now. I'm sorry, Patrick, but
No.
No, it's all good. That's what makes
Yeah.
I have a very important follow-up that I'm sure Shane is thinking about too.
Actually, I googled it. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you put pickles in your borscht?
It's
No, we don't.
cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
No.
What
No.
goes into borscht?
There we go. The debate is settled, Shane.
No.
No. What goes into borscht? We were taught this comes up every single podcast where we have another white person on. We always ask what goes into borscht. I was gonna say on the topics.
I'm just getting hungry now. I think
Yeah.
this conversation
Yeah, I was gonna say
makes me realize like I'm just talking about food because I'm feeling hungry.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I wanted to throw that in there. Is there anything else other than rice that goes inside cabbage rolls? Since we're asking about food, maybe to get back on track, I think we could do like 2 questions because I know we only have 10 minutes of your time left. To get
That's
us
still
back
okay,
on
yeah.
track. I think just want to get your closing thoughts on this. So I think we have a bit of a quote segment here for you, and I'm going to give you 3 quotes and tell me what each one means to you. This one I got a quote, and it's the key to immortality is first living a life worth remembering.
Oh my goodness. Interesting. Okay. And you know, I kind of agree with this quote, to be honest, because we are forgetting about simple things. We are forgetting about normal life with this all hustle stuff, like, you know, work stuff. We are forgetting about normal, you know, enjoyable things. And when I said I like to work from home, that's actually a good example. Why? Because if I would be in a rush to work, I couldn't, for example, have a call with my mom in the morning, or my grandma, to to follow up and ask how they're doing and have this small chat. Or for example, if you have this time, you can just go to your garden or wherever, like have some coffee outside, or some, of course not right now, but I mean in it's better to not go outside right now in Winnipeg. But yeah, I mean, simple things like traveling, simple things like, again, having the dinner together with the friends. It's something important, making these memories, just taking a pause from the work and from this busyness, I would say, when you're busy and you don't do anything. So in the end of your life, you can at least remember some good memories, right? You have these core memories from your life, and I feel it's very important actually to build and to make these memories. And even again, back to my planning and stuff, I have like different points there, and one of the points is to meet with the friends more, to be a good friend to my friends, because sometimes we are, not connecting and feeling like, oh my gosh, they're not connecting me because they don't need me. But no, actually, why you're not connecting with them, right? And one of my points is to meet more with the friends, to give more time to my family, to my friends. Yeah, so it's very important. And it's actually one of the things you can stay human, right? To be with to be with the people in the crowd, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a great answer.
Yeah,
that quote is hogwash, Shane.
Yeah.
No, we all know who that quote came from, though. It's a great quote.
I don't know.
Oh, it came from Bruce Lee.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, Bruce Lee. Yeah, you know Bruce Lee. Yeah, it came from him. It's I think trying to find it, right, and a life worth remembering, finding those memories. Okay. I don't think we need to get into the third one. That was actually like such a solid answer.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh my God.
And just like that, an hour went by. Do you have any closing thoughts on the podcast?
Well, I have you.
Anyone.
I don't know.
I don't know.
So,
anyone
go.
Can.
Who will go first? I will. Okay.
I got one closing thought for a podcast. How do you say placeholder in Ukrainian? How do you say placeholder in Ukrainian?
Placeholder?
Yeah. So if you're gonna say like, like I'm gonna call this like, this water bottle X. It's a placeholder name. How do you say placeholder in Ukrainian?
Zapovnювач.
Zapovnювач.
Okay, whatever. No, don't use this.
Oh, no, that's definitely going in. We need to know. Okay, that's my closing thought. It was just that. Okay. Okay. What do you got, Alina?
Okay, I really enjoyed today our meeting, our podcasting, and I'm super glad you invited me, guys, and so it was a very good place to share my thoughts. I'm not sure how many thoughts will be got from here, but yeah, it was very fun. It was a very cool time jamming with you today. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You're a very good talker. Interesting to listen to. I feel like I didn't really talk much. I was just engrossed in your thoughts and answers.
Yeah, I think what you brought, it's a lot to shed light on, and a lot of wisdom. Is your website still up?
It's still up, but it's not like functioning right now. Okay.
Do you want to give it a plug or your
No,
blog?
I don't know.
No. Enjoy the Joy blog. Go check it out. Google it or visit.
Enjoy the Joy.
No. I feel like I will change my domain name soon. So, anyways.
Okay.
If you can't find our blog, talk on Facebook, everyone.
Yeah, but the majority of stuff, what I publish in my posts and my photos, like flat stuff, I post usually on Instagram. So it's my biggest, I would say. I am more responsive there.
Alina _Olinik 624 on Insta.
Yes.
Follow her on Insta. Don't follow her in real life. Thank you for tuning into the
podcast. Unless you know her in real life already, then
then yeah, in that case, follow her. Yeah.